Alright everybody, I'm back with another video of the 63. It's been a while. I've had some things I got into that had nothing to do with the truck, and I've also been working on the truck and just don't think about pulling my phone out to record while I'm doing it. So just a little overview here of what I've done, what I'm still going to do, and don't take my word on it, because I normally say I'll post another video tomorrow and it'll be 7 months. But anyway, back when I was first posting a couple months ago, I never really showed anything about the truck because it was too buried in bullshit at the time. But about 10 years ago, 9 years ago, something like that, I basically took the truck and chopped it from there back, and did the monster notch 4-link. And the truck kind of sat at that point, and I never really did much with it because I had a lot of other things to do. So anyway, I'm going to pull that all back apart once this project is done, and get everything all sandblasted. I'm going to redo a couple things and get it looking purty. But so yeah, here we go. The 5.3 is finally in the truck. TH400. Got the PTC torque converter in there. So what I've done here is basically got her in, got the manifold on. I did, I think the last time I did a video, I didn't even have the cross member on it, but I got all that painted, airbags back installed in it. New upper and lower tubular control arms from Porterbuilt. I had the front disc swap already, but I just kind of got it all painted up and looking nice because I got excited when I first got it 10 years ago and just threw it on without touching it. So that's it in all of its glory. Basically what I'm working on now is getting the Terminator X wiring ran through there. I'm still working on figuring out the mounting stuff. I got the interior out. I pulled my dash wiring. I wanted to take out had a bunch of crappy wiring that people had added switches and bullshit underneath the dash for, I guess, radios or whatever. And then some other random wires that ran through there. Just got all that stuff cleaned out. So I'm still using a factory fuse box because really the only thing that's running is my gauges, and that's really about it. Just my headlights and shit. So I got the Terminator X ECU mounted up in there. That way I can pretty much come like straight through the firewall there. I plug boom straight up into there. I'll mount all my other nonsense. It's got some relays and whatever. I'm gonna mount those up there and make everything kind of short and sweet. There are some things I figured out in the process of this. When I bought the Terminator X, it doesn't come with, it fits, I guess, the factory LS injectors. I'm running Bosch 210, so I end up having to buy Denso style plugs, and instead of buying the conversion and making everything longer and just adding things in, I bought 8 of these plugs, just the actual plug itself, off eBay. I think it was like $6. I unpinned what was already there, clipped them off, basically made those new ones work. So the other thing is when you do the Terminator X, you have to add manifold air temperature. I bought a factory Denso from a Chevrolet truck, I believe, screwed right into the back of the manifold there. Normally it goes into like the intake piping, but I didn't want to risk with it being boosted, having anywhere where boost could leak. So I opted for just screwing right into the back of the manifold. Same thing with the map sensor. I did away with the old map sensor and bought one of the low dollars, swapped the plug out, clipped right in, bam, it's done. I went ahead and I also added I don't know if you can see it back there, an air fitting. That's going to run over to a vacuum manifold I made for like my fuel pressure regulator and some other goofy things that I might want to run off of it. And because I have added my manifold air temperature back in the back, I had to cut the loom open on this because it normally comes out the front. It was like the longest one on there. but it wouldn't reach back to the back of the manifold. So I had to cut the loom open, kind of rearrange the wires, tape it all back up and make it look pretty again. I bought new sensors for this. I just bought regular old Denso factory stuff that fits. Same thing, Denso coolant temperature sensor. I think I showed it in a previous video, but the F-body, I run all the F-body stuff. On all these that I've done, I've ran the F-body stuff. Got my starter, brand new, eBay, AC Delco, 112 bucks, can't beat it. The only other thing that I need to add into the wiring wise, which I didn't realize, again, the Terminator X did not include, is anything that has to do with the alternator. So I'm basically going to order a plug that plugs into the alternator. Then it also runs over to what they call power tap, and it will charge the battery. Pretty much a plug and play thing. I've watched a lot of videos, things that people have done with adding resistors and all kinds of stuff into a lot. I don't want to do all that. So yeah, the only thing really different that I'm doing that I wasn't planning at first is I made some wire pass-throughs for the Terminator X main harness and the power. I didn't really have a good spot. I wanted to cut a hole because there's nothing really flat there. The truck already had this hole cut in it for, it wasn't cut, it's from the factory. But that's for, I guess, the heater sits behind it. But if it had AC, I'm pretty sure it has something to do with the AC. So I made that little trim bracket, and then I just kind of redesigned it so it's a little bigger. So basically we have a power, or a main harness power. I made this one for extra. I'm going to put a little bulkhead through there for my headlight wiring. And then these two right here I'm going to tap for 8th MPT and put fittings in them for airlines, because you need an airline for the Terminator X for, I guess, vacuum, boost, whatever. So I'll be able to just put a fitting in there, a fitting in the back, and I can just do a quick connect on both sides. And turbo manifold, I got only one on there now, just because was starting to test fit how I'm gonna weld up the my hot side of my piping. So basically the other one's gonna mirror that one, and they'll come together into a Y, and then come boop over here, and then my turbo will sit right about there. And I'm gonna have a mount that comes off of that, runs up underneath, and because that's a big bitch. That's a S480 T6 flanged. So basically I'll need that to support the weight. I know people will probably bitch at me for my mounting that I chose for my engine mounts. I used the factory perches, and then small block Chevy engine mounts. They're not the strongest. Later on I will probably end up putting some solid mounts in here, but I really needed to get the motor in the truck. I was starting to lose interest, and I needed to get it in there so I could actually have something to work on, get it running, and then once it's running, basically work out any bugs or kinks that basically I fucked up on before. So my next project really is I'm ordering a gas tank from like a 70s C10. It takes like a EFI fuel sending unit. I'm going to order one of those with, I guess, like a retrofit sending unit, which has the AN, so I can screw AN fittings into it. I'm running dash 8 from the 525 Walbro pump to a Y, which will be right behind the manifold there. That Y will split out with two dash 8s into the fuel rails, and then at the front I'm going to have those coming into each side of a fuel pressure regulator, and then a dash 6 on the bottom here as a return. I'm adding that fuel pressure sensor in there also. So yeah, it's gonna mount up here somewhere. I'm gonna make a bracket of some sort to have it up there, but that's my next project, is to get the fuel lines, fuel tank in. Basically at that point, once I get these this harness all plugged up, I can actually fire it and get it to run. And then finish building my turbo manifold. I need a radiator, a transmission cooler, and get all my ECU stuff buttoned back up in here and cleaned up, and then I'm gonna throw some carpet in it and recover the seat, get the seat put back in. And I do need to get rid of that and put a shifter down there. That's another thing that's coming. I gotta figure out what kind of shifter I'm gonna buy, but definitely need to get rid of that. So yeah, if you guys have any questions about anything, I'm gonna throw my coils on. I ended up finding out of my parts box, one of them was broken, so I need to get me a couple extra ones just for shits and giggles. But yeah, if you guys have any questions about anything here, part numbers for things, or wiring, plugs, really anything, even if it doesn't pertain to the Terminator X or LS, as far as the truck goes, I've done a lot of research with different things, suspension stuff, whatever. And if you have any questions about any of it, just feel free to ask me. I'll help any way I can, and hopefully soon we'll be able to see it running and out there next to my lesbian mobile. So I appreciate it.